The following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
My name is Lawrence Brooks, and you're listening to the Hoop Ball Mavericks podcast. Ever since I started this podcast, people have been asking me for betting tips. I always get asked, who you got, Lakers or Clippers, Brady or Mahomes? And I'll tell you what I tell them. Where you bet is just as important as who you're betting on. That's why I tell people to bet with MyBookie. MyBookie rep is rock solid, and they've got the best odds, contests, and promotions in the business. They're the only place I trust to handle my NBA-related bets. The one sportsbook guaranteed to give me the best lines for March Madness, Saturday night NBA, Thursday night NBA, and all in between. And you know me, I don't give my stamp of approval easily. To earn it, you've got to be the best at what you do, and MyBookie is the best sports book out there, period. It's simple. Sign up, enter promo code HoopBall, and get your deposit matched halfway up to $1,000. Head over to MyBookie if you want to add a little excitement to the sports you love and the games you bet. Bet with the best, bet with MyBookie. Again, thank you very much for joining me. My name is Lawrence Brooks. You're listening to the Hoop Ball Mavericks podcast. We're back. We played tonight. We got the Celtics. Very excited. Happy that we got a win on Wednesday because it was Monday because it was very much needed. We really needed to get that win. We don't want to lose to teams that we're supposed to beat. And they're undermanned. Oklahoma City, they came out, they played hard, but ultimately Dallas was able to get a win and move on to play the Celtics, which will be a little bit of a tougher game, I would say, although they're having their own issues. Final score against OKC was 127 Dallas, 106 OKC. A couple of quick notes from that game. The one thing that I really liked about this game is that Moses Brown for OKC has been an animal in the past 5 games or so. He literally had over 20 rebounds his previous game, and Porzingis came in. He took the assignment of defending him. He kept him off the glass. He kept him at bay. He only ended up with 6 points and 9 rebounds for the game. I thought that was huge. That also spoke to his character, the fact that he came out with intention to want to get up into this guy, make life tough for him on the night. Because OKC is a hard fighting team. They're going to give it everything they've got. And so for the Mavericks to come in, I mean, they were leading 71-63 at halftime, and they finally pulled away in the second half and got this win. And so that was really big for me. The fact that they were able to take away what has been working for them so well, which has been him. And OKC is just a hard-playing team. They're not going to give up. They're going to fight tooth and nail to the end. But ultimately, Dallas just had too much talent, too much firepower to allow OKC to get a win. And even before the break, they were shooting the ball really well. First half, they shot 55% from the field. And so they were just locked in. And so it was good to see them get a win against a team that they should beat. Another thing to point out, I mean, they had 30 assists on 51 made field goals, which is great. I mean, they were sharing the wealth, moving the ball. Everyone was contributing. And so I really liked what they showed in this game. Again, winning games that you're supposed to win. I know it sounds simple. I know it sounds very black and white in terms of, yeah, it's very easy to just say that. But with the Mavericks being in the position they're in at 24-21, and they're sitting, they're just barely above water. They're fighting tooth and nail to stay in this playoff hunt. Every game is a must win. And especially when you play lower tier teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder. That was great to see. We also got a sighting from one of our new players. I mean, Nicole O'Meally, he got in the game. He gave some really good minutes. He only played about 11 minutes, but he was flying around. He was 3 or 4 shooting. And he was just a presence out there. He was very much visible. He jumped off the screen with his energy, floor spacing, and just fitting into the crew. And I thought he was a good piece for the Pelicans in terms of just a guy that can play basketball. And so I was happy to see him out there. And I think he can be a contributor because, again, you can never have too much shooting. And although he's been in an incredible slump this year, I think some of that is due to lack of confidence and playing time and how things were going in New Orleans. But now he's got a fresh scenery. He's able to start new and build from here. And I think that's going to do him really well because I'm sure he wants to stick in the NBA, get another contract, and find his footing on a team that could really use his services. So it was good to see him in this light. It was great to have him out there and for everybody to get a look at what he can do. So I found that to be a really good game. Luka, 25 points, 7 assists. He was 9 of 17 from the field, 4 of 10 from the three-point line. And Porzingis had 20 with 5 assists and 9 rebounds. And so those guys, they ran the show. They did what they were supposed to and just handled business. So I was happy to see that and happy to see them get a win. Now tonight, as it pertains to the Celtics, a tricky game. The Celtics are much like the Mavericks. The season hasn't gone as well as maybe they would like, but both teams are very capable of winning any night. It doesn't matter when they play. So this isn't a gimme. This is a game that will need to have everyone all hands on deck. And there's a few moving parts in this game. If you guys remember, the previous Dallas versus Celtics game ended with Luka hitting a step back three to win the game. They won 110 to 107, but it was a thrilling matchup. There was a lot of back and forth, but Dallas actually collapsed in the last 3 minutes. They gave up an 11-point lead in the final 3 minutes, and it took a last-second shot by Luka to pull out the win. And it was troubling because they pretty much had control of this game throughout the second half, and like I say, it was just a collapse. But Luka ended up with 31 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. He's a +5 in this game. He was 6 of 8 from the three-point line. I mean, he was cooking. And so they needed every bit of that, but they didn't have Porzingis in that game. So it'll be good to have him back in the fold because, again, every game is a must-win. When you're in the bottom half of the playoff hunt and you're trying to make your way, and obviously it's been spoken about to no end about their COVID situation, how I put them behind the 8 ball. Now is the time for them to get as many wins as they can. And so coming into this game with no Daniel Tice there, now he's shipped off to Chicago. They don't have a really big inside presence. They already weren't big to begin with on the inside. And Tristan Thompson is inactive for this game as well, which leaves Robert Williams. And Kristaps should have a good game. He should be assertive, much like he was when it was just him, when Luka had to sit out. He was the guy that took control. So this will be a good game that I'm hoping that he comes out and really establishes himself and shows that he's the biggest mismatch in this game. Because they don't have an answer for a guy of his size with his ability to play. So I'm really excited to see how that unfolds. I think that Dallas, especially dropping those 2 games over the weekend, which were hard to swallow. I mean, no Luka, no Porzingis for the weekend, and they lost both games. So now they have to make it up, and tonight will be a night for them to try to do so. So I'm hoping that they're able to pull it together, get this win, and get back on. And stay on the winning side of things. I think when you get accustomed to, you want to get accustomed to winning, and you want to establish a rhythm of winning. And before they dropped those 2 games, they were already one of the hotter teams in the NBA. They had won 14 of their last 19 up until that point. They had already established continuity within their team and what they wanted to do. And it was just, and so they were rolling. But those last 2 went over the weekend, those 2 losses, put them in a position where they now got to get back on the saddle and try to get a win in this game. And so it'll be good to see how they match up with these guys, because again, both teams can be very dangerous, as we can see from the previous matchup. So tonight they'll need to be ready to go and ready to play, and don't come out sluggish, don't come out slow like Dallas can tend to do at times, but come out ready to play and come out ready to win this game, because it will be a must-win situation. I'm hoping also. I know we got a little glimpse of some of the rookies playing last game, but geez, I think Tyler Bey could help. I really think that he could help. And with the wings that the Celtics have, throwing him out there for a few minutes wouldn't hurt. It really would not hurt for them to do so. So I'm hoping that he gets some minutes as well. But the starters will play heavy minutes as usual. I'm hoping to see Josh Richardson have a bounce back. He's been in a little bit of a slump, hasn't played well necessarily lately. But if he can come back and get to the level that he was playing at when he was scoring in double digits, because when he scores in double digits, a lot of times that equals wins for the Mavs. So I'm hoping that he can get back on the good side of things, find his abilities on the offensive end again, because he's been playing pretty well on defense, but they'll need his offense tonight, as well as his defense, which goes unsaid, because obviously with this team, you need all hands on deck trying to guard Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker, and to some extent Marcus Smart, because he can make plays too, and he's a very active guy, and he's a very willing shooter. Doesn't always make them, but he's a willing shooter that will try to make plays. And then also they've added Evan Fournier to the fold. So those are guys that can all contribute and make plays, and you have to account for every possession. So this will be another test for them that I think will be good. And if they can get a win, they can continue to build. And I know this is a grind of a road trip for them. This road trip will actually be, I think, 6 games in 9 days, something roughly to that extent. I know they have a few back-to-backs in there, but every game matters. And with where they're currently at in the standings, they need to win as many games as possible. So hopefully we see some of those guys. Porzingis gives us a great game, because he has a clear mismatch in this game of a very good size advantage on their front line. And then on top of that, if we can get some minutes from some of these complimentary guys, that would be even better. So that's what I'm hoping for to see tonight. Not a whole lot to add there. I just want to see how this unfolds. But at the end of the day, they just need to get a win, no matter how it comes about, and continue to shoot the ball better than what they have been. I know in their last game, they shot the ball fairly well from the perimeter. They weren't great, but they were better. They were 36% from 3. And if we can get a hot Tim Hardaway tonight, that'll be great. I mean, last game he was 3 of 6 from the 3-point line. Last game, Dorian Finney-Smith was 2 for 3. But if we can get guys like Maxi Kleber and Josh Richardson and Jalen Brunson shooting well from the 3-point line, that will be great. And Dwight Powell's activity level, continue to just be active. That's all we need him to do, is just be active out there. If he does that, that's great. Won't ask for too much more, because if he does that, he should be in a good place, because he can make things happen just with his activity level at times. So hopefully they get a win. Let's see what they do. But that's my outlook on this game and what I'm looking forward to. So let's hopefully get a win. Continue to subscribe to the podcast. Continue to download, streaming on all platforms. Please let me know. Leave a 5-star review. You can catch me on Twitter at LBSaidit. That's LBSaidit, and at HoopBallMavs. That's HoopBallMavs. Okay, let's get a win tonight. Talk to you guys soon. Go Mavs.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.